And I'm guessing that you have a lot of mercenaries, which is going to be expensive. Although BPEC is also very, very wealthy and is making quite a lot of money. Are you getting diplomatic subsidies? Flipping hell, you make a lot of money from trade. I did say BPEC's wealthy. And although you have a lot of mercenaries, they're also cheaper because you're halfling military. And the AI is very nicely attacking you one unit at a time. These Goward units just not interested in fighting. And that's another stack wipe for Vitask. So Goward has taken out the gnomes up there. BPEC going in for another fight, this time against Goward directly. No river crossings, they must have the better maneuver general. And Goward sent packing. All of the fights so far very much going for BPEC's favour. And there they are, there's the Gnomish Hierarchy armies. Currently sieging. I think I would have done this the other way around. I'd have the gnomes fighting the battles, because the gnomish military is very, very strong. Supported by the halfling mercenaries, and the halflings themselves do the sieging. Gnomes here on a -1. This is going to be a much closer battle. Goward bringing these armies in. That's going to be too little, too late. BPEC marching in to support. 3.2 morale against Goward's 3.6. Is BPEC going to arrive? BPEC arrived just in time, sending Goward packing. And there was another 10,000 on their way in to support, but too little, too late. And that's a whole series of blistering victories. And suddenly the odds here have changed. They've got 39,000, 45,000 against 58,000. Although part of the question here is going to be, manpower, of which Goward does not seem to have very much. Neither does Vitask, and Vitask right now is being sieged by Arboran. Oh, is Arboran in this too? Oh, they are! Arboran's attacked from the other flank. And Arboran has got a really big military. That's a lot of artillery for 1496. So Arboran's really going in with the sieges here. Guessing XOS is a BPEC vassal. You are right, they are. And BPEC once again sending Goward's armies fleeing. And I feel like this is going to be a glorious victory against Goward. So we've seen the humbling of Lorent. We're about to see the humbling of Goward as well. Bjornrik, meanwhile, attacking in from the north. Poor old Goward, not able to really get anything going here. Is that me blagging? No. Not anymore anyway. Goward already being down on medium enthusiasm, so we've got Bjornrik coming from the north, we've got Arboran coming from the east, and then BPEC and Gnomish Hierarchy coming from the west. Goward is just surrounded by enemies at this point, and I'm fairly sure that there is going to be no coming back. This is going to be down to who can take the most land. The scramble for Goward's territory is now on. Goward being ganged on by 3 players, yeah. I mean, this kind of happened to Goward in the last multiplayer as well. Eventually, Bjornrik switched sides and started supporting Goward against Lorent and the gnomes. But then you had the centaurs coming in. Although they were never that far across. The centaurs only ever got to about here. No, it was mostly me. Mostly me picking on Slurfen, wasn't it? It was you, Ian Goward. To be fair, you either do it to Goward or they do it to you. I mean, it's inevitable. The fight between Goward and Lorent, it's going to happen. Both sides have mission trees basically just saying, kill the other guy. And then it's really angling for position in that conflict. That looks like a Mage General. That is definitely a Mage General, though a really weak one, 2703. Man, I would not be happy if I got that roll as a Mage. Just a 7 in shock. Gnomish Hierarchy fighting there against Goward and losing this time. BPEC's force is nowhere to be seen. Oh, I think that BPEC may have just lost a battle too. It looks like Goward's down here in force and has sent them all packing. Yeah, they're actually pushing back, but they're ignoring the threat from over here. Which is fair enough. You kind of want to focus on one enemy. But then again, you also need to be defending. Like, at the moment, Bjornrik's sieging down their capital. They probably do need to march up here and fight them. Meanwhile, I think that Arboran could probably do with being a bit more aggressive. Try and take a bit more of this territory. Is Goward a player? No. Arboran is, Bjornrik is, BPEC is, Gnomish Hierarchy is, Goward isn't. So one of the decisions that was made with this game is that Lorent and Goward and Elnar and Jad would not be played, because they're all too big. Which I guess was a ringing endorsement of how I played Lorent. Hey Jeff. Meanwhile, we've got BPEC coming back in. Gnomish Hierarchy is nearby, but not actually moving to assist, so perhaps could be a little bit better communication between these two, because having those extra Gnomish guns in the fight would be pretty useful, although I'm guessing lower manpower? Yeah, you're out. I'm completely tapped, whereas BPEC has loads, because BPEC has the secondary manpower source of mercenaries. And BPEC marching around, trying to catch a couple more of those Goward armies. Meanwhile, we've got Arboran actually blanket sieging, which is kind of what I wanted to see. And now it's Bjornrik that could probably afford to expand their forces a little bit more than they are. What other wars are going on meanwhile? Anbennar is fighting something. What are you up against? Anbennar is fighting against the Magisterium. So trying to take the last of the island over here, which is a really good move for them. And this is just going to secure more land and more of a source of wealth, although they're still not into the Dame's Crown, but they are going to be stealing basically all the money in Anbennar. Actually, no, a significant amount is actually being protected away. Who's doing that? BPEC. Yep, BPEC's the one that's trying to move money into the north. Everyone else here is pretty much collecting. At least the big boys. So I wouldn't be that surprised if we see an Anbennar BPEC conflict at some point. Arakprun, who are you fighting? You're probably still trying to consolidate all of the territories over here, and you are indeed. Goward, who are you fighting? Wex. You're allied to Ashenade, who is attacking Wex, the former emperor. Is the traitor still the emperor? Yep. Still a Nolish emperor. A Nolish emperor of the human kingdoms. In this, the HRE doesn't mean the Holy Roman Emperor. The Holy Roman Empire, it's the human religious empire. Or something. Oh, Railskulk's at war again. Who are you fighting? This time around, you're going up against Ruby Company and the Mithril Arm Cartel. Who are what? Oh, down here. The Ruby Company, yes. You've taken their hold. And then Spider Wretch, who are these guys, have taken the south. Probably waiting for Spider Wretch to peace out so you can take more. Meanwhile, how is Orzlam Azdir? So Orzlam Azdir has now actually formed, so we have got the cavalry dwarves in place. Land force limit, movement speed, shock damage. Cavalry combat ability plus 20, cavalry to infantry ratio plus 25, colonist and fort maintenance, production efficiency, land leader maneuver, national tax, harsh treatment, and manpower recovery. Innovative Imperial. Imperial's new. Diplomatic relations plus 2, tribute system, aggressive expansion minus 20. Prestige plus 1, diplomatic annexation minus 25, income from vassals plus 20, may fabricate claims of subjects, vassal force limit contribution, and then finally liberty to desire. That's an odd choice. I don't think that's a very strong one. Construction cost and development cost with innovative. I think I would have gone Noble Academia. Surely if you want to get the most out of your cavalry dwarves, you'd want to go Noble Academia. Or maybe quality. This might just be my bias against diplomatic ideas usually, because this one feels like diplomatic or not innovative. What's the other one? Diplo and the two idea groups I've never taken. What are Imperial ideas? Are those new for Anbennar? These are influence, thank you. This is an idea set made by the community for these Anbennar multiplayer games. Basically, they got tired of everyone just going quantity economic. And so they rebuilt the idea groups and rebalanced them more for Anbennar. And so far they've been pretty good. I've been really interested in like seeing the different choices and why people are taking what they are. So now that we are seeing a couple more options, like strategic ideas, another one. Strategic ideas actually sounds really interesting. They're good. You don't have any. You've gone economic plutocratic. You've gone noble imperial. So, Adenika's also gone imperial. What am I missing here? Why have the two cavalry nations gone for an idea group that doesn't have... Oh, you've already got Noble Academia, so fine. You probably are doing this more for the aggressive expansion impact reduction, which again, you don't need to worry about because there's nobody around you. You're an isolated dwarf nation. It's not a cav policy either. Oh yeah, yours is. So again, Imperial, Noble Academia, cavalry cost and cavalry combat ability, I get it. But Ozam Azdir doesn't have that. She's got innovative, which is construction cost and dev cost. Innovative quality, fire damage received down. That's actually going to be really nice, like late term. Defensive ideas. We've already said how defensive ideas and dwarves would mix really well, although that's infantry combat ability, not cavalry. Cavalry fire plus 0.25 with Noble Academia. Military advisor cost reduction. See, yeah, I just feel like Noble Academia and innovative would have been a better choice than Imperial. I think that's a really weird option. I don't get it. Right, what else have people taken? Where are we up to? Adenika. Industrial ideas. So Karuvia. Who was it that I... Buku was Karuvia. So who was Cold Rage? I think I had a blip in my memory. So advanced tools is production efficiency, national manpower, and national sailors plus 15%. Land and naval maintenance -5, construction cost -10, monthly autonomy -0.05, advisor cost -10, goods produced +10, and then the capstone's dev cost. So goods produced and dev cost and production efficiency, those are all nice. And then you have a couple of like military adjacent as well, which for a Diplo idea slot is really good. So strategic and industrial, what's that lead to? National manpower modifier +10, artillery damage for back row +10. That's pretty good. Especially with strategic, which has the artillery combat ability. So Karuvia, we can see, is definitely going for an artillery heavy build. Cold Rage was the thieving arrow, thank you. Which was Always look at what's actually there instead of relying on a faulty memory. Yeah, true. Alright, so what other ideas do we have? Exploration industrial. Global settler increase plus 15%. So Ebethil is going hard on the colonial stuff. It's a pretty good combo. Quantity industrial. Yearly army tradition plus 1. That's nice. Birth of colonialism. I'm guessing that's in Ebethil. I think Ebethil will be rightfully upset if they didn't get it. Dev cost land force limit modifier plus 10% for quantity economic. Strategic industrial. Oh yes, artillery. Oh man, artillery from back row for Ovdor Khanzad. That's a really good combo. Man, Ovdor Khanzad is going to be terrifying with that. Not that they're not already terrifying as is. Because the thing with Ovdor Khanzad is mission tree. They can get the artillery line, which adds even more artillery damage from the back row. Now these don't stack, so it goes 10% up to 15% up to 20%, plus the artillery back row from that, which is another 10%. Yeah, they can get really, really good that way. Vern, what have you chosen? Quantity exploration. National manpower and leader maneuver. Okay. Neck cliff exploration quality. Manpower recovery, mercenary manpower. Interesting, interesting. Marhold. Yeah, here we go. Marhold's done what Asdir should have done. Noble Academia into Innovative, or Innovative into Noble Academia. Although they do have the extra land fire damage here, which would apply to cavalry. Question. Your cavalry troops, do they get much fire? No, not really. What about... Who was I just looking at? Marhold. Also not a huge amount. I mean, cavalry never gets much fire, which is why them getting a fire bonus is a bit weird, but any damage buff is a damage buff. And I guess that would still be multiplied by any cavalry combat ability you have. Alright, what's BPEC gone for? Plutocratic into trade, which is production efficiency and sailor maintenance. Yeah, that's good. Sailor maintenance reduction is actually surprisingly powerful, because what you can then do is you can go over your naval force limit. The cost is already minimal, so you don't really care about that. The real cost for going over your naval force limit is when they're doing a mission like protecting trade, you will run out of sailors. But because they have the sailor maintenance reduction, you can basically go over that more hard cap more easily. Bjornrik. Quantity religious. Morale of armies plus 5, recover army morale plus 5. So what does religious do? Missionary plus 1, stability cost modifier minus 25, culture conversion minus 25, and that's here instead of the capstone. Missionary strength plus 3, missionary maintenance cost minus 25. That's a good modifier. Tolerance to the true faith, morale of armies and navies, prestige, permanent CB against neighbouring heathens, much later on, because usually I think that's the first one. And then land force limit modifier and reinforce cost. Okay, so religious is still this pseudo-religious military combination, with the military bonuses coming in later in. I quite like that. Arakbrin, what have you got? Quantity exploration. Where's the combo? There it is. National manpower and maneuver. Elysian has gone quantity industrial, which is the army tradition. Asdir was imperial innovative, as we saw. Construction development. Sarian, economic quantity, which is just bigger armies. Land force limits and dev cost, which is good for them. Rubenair, strategic innovative. Idea cost minus 5%. Okay. And these guys are finishing their idea groups incredibly quickly. Economic plutocratic. That's going to be a new one. Oh, hello. Yearly Republican tradition plus 0.5? That's a huge amount. You're going to get a lot of really good leaders because of that. That's a very interesting combo. Possibly a bit overpowered. And then Jabert is getting defensive innovative. That's also a new combo. Infantry, combat ability plus 5, advisor cost minus 5. That's a good combo too. I like that one. And gnomes with defensive. Good combo. Gnomes with advisor cost reduction from innovative and defensive. That's a really good combo. I am indeed the spectator, yes. The Goward Wars have indeed ended, and Goward didn't lose a huge amount. Arboran actually took all the stuff from Vertesk, trying to cut off BPEC from going around the top part. Doesn't look like the gnomes took anything. No. And Bjornrik mostly took out Bavik and Selmador rather than Goward, which Goward was just allied to, so that makes sense. I feel like Goward got out of this remarkably easy. Even this land was Eulair instead of Goward. I'm really liking this BPEC. This is a strong nation. So how has that changed things, if at all? Sinvar is 8th, Malkanar is 7th, Elisner is 6th, Eberthil is 5th, Arakpan is 4th, Sariand is 3rd. So 3rd till 8th is now all player nations. And 1st and 2nd are still AI. Are the gnomes in a coalition or a target of one? Yes. Yes, they are. And Lorent's in it too. 1% away from having a player in on that. Managed that very closely there, Faceless. Crikey. Arboran's fine. BPEC's fine. I mean, we saw it in our own game as the gnomes. It's actually really difficult to expand as the gnomes and not take aggressive expansion. I mean, they took Port Nam, which is a really good gain for them. Big part of the mission tree, taking Port Nam. But yeah, not getting AE as the gnomes is very difficult. Those are all claims. Westmere is... well, they lost Edgemoor, which I don't think they actually lost, that's just one of their vassals. And then Westmere is it. Meanwhile, Frozenmoor is now coming in. Frozenmoor is a AI. Frozenmoor is probably going to take a chunk out of Goward here. See, this is why Arboran should have been going after them and not Vertesk, in my opinion. Any dwarf players? Yes. 2. Where are they? Not that far east. So we've got one which is Oslam Azdir, and then the other one which is Ovdal Khanzad. And then Thieving Arrow is a player Goblin, and Railskulker is a player Goblin. Ah, you're right. Yeah, Westmoors is a Bjornrik vassal, not a Goward vassal. So they can vassal feed it, I guess. Yep. That seems logical. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that Goward is going to be pretty much penniless after this. 2.27 in loan. Actually, no, they only have one. Only one loan. But they do have a peasant war. Ticking up slowly but surely. -2 stability. How'd they lose the stability? Not bankrupt, are they? Oh, yeah, they are. That would be why they lost their stability. So yes, people took a lot of money, and then their economy is so bad that they're having to take further loans. Oh man, that really sucks. Oh, we have a Phoenix Empire. So not Jad is now back. and get even more conquest CBs. I'm a little bit surprised that they put somebody in Phoenix Empire. Or in Sariand in general. In this area in general. Because they're all just militarist conquerors in this. Neckcliff is offering an alliance to Phoenix Empire. That's interesting. Meanwhile, Vern seems to be escalating their... Oh no, Ebethil's just moving down further and further south. And Vanail has the Blood Groves, they have Aliand. So Vanail is colonizing hard. Who's Nurtef? Ebethil. Nurdurith. So Ebethil's actually keeping the default names. Nice. They're still colonizing, fair enough. Oh, Ebethil's got over here. This is usually Vansbury. Ebethil is really expanding quickly.